Hello guys, I welcome you to my another chess video in the series of chess tactics explained. Here we are going to another very important and common chess tactics known as pin. So we have an example in front of us. This example has been taken from a very famous game of Capablanca and Alexander Orkheim. Here it is white's move, and as you can see, the rook is pinned. So in this position, white just moved his pawn on f4, attacked the queen, and the black defended the queen by moving it to g7. Keep the protection alive on rook on c3. But in the next move, white just take the knight on e4, reducing the defender of c3. Okay, here, here come the twist. In this position, what should white play? Pause the video and try to think. First of the first move which comes first in the mind is rook on c1. Attack this rook, but this is not the best move. It is a mistake because if you move the rook on c1 right now, well, let's see what happens. It just take the rook with check, and you will have no advantage of this pin. So here in the next move, white should play first his king to f2. Now black move is queen on f6, hoping to give check on s4 and find some counter play, but white is in thinking advanced, so he just simply plays rook on g3 and black moves on g5, looking for some counter play. But now the game has been slipped from the black, and in the next move, white can win this rook. Can you see the next move for the white? Yeah, try to find it. Exactly here. The rook moved to c1, adding the attack to the rook on c3, and rook cannot move. If rook move, we can take the queen. So it was the very good example of how we can exploit the position here there is a pin. So pin is a very good tactic. You should always try to find it in your own game. Here we have another example. In this example, as you can see first that the knight of white is pin. It is black's move, and this example is little bit long. That's why you first do not get what should black play here. But the common sense is white should remove the defender one by one and then exploit the spin. We will discuss more about strategy in our another playlist. It will be a strategy section. So let's focus here. Here the best move for the black is first to remove this queen. After this, we can take the knight on e2, attacking the knight. So white tried to defend the knight. But in the next move, we can capture this knight also. And now this rook is spent. So what should black play here? Exactly, white can add attack to this rook by playing rook on d8, and white defends it by playing rook on d1. But now what? Let's guess. Pause the video and try to think in this position how you are going to exploit this pin on rook on d2. Exactly. I'm going to tell you something here. As you can see, the rook and this king is busy to defending this rook, pinned rook on d2. If we somehow outplay the white, and white had no move except to move this one of this piece, we are going to achieve this by playing rook to pawn to c4. Yeah, after moving pawn to c4, we approach this two pawn, and in the end, when all the pawn white will play, at the end he will be out of move. When the white will be out of move, he has to play one of this piece, and one of this piece will move to another square. We will be taking this rook for free. Yes, here we have another example. This is a very good example. You have to think little bit here. Here we cannot see a direct pin position, but in the end it will create a pin. It is a forced creation of the pin. First you have to think. Okay, here it is black move, and black sacrifices queen on f4. After sacrificing the queen, you can see what is this move? Why just black sacrifice his queen on f4? Yeah, it is actually combination of two tactics, pin and back rank mat. Yeah, the back rank situation here, we will be discussing about back rank in another video. But here is the back rank situation that after playing rook on a1, king is forced to move on s2. When the king move on s2, here come the move. Final blow of the black. Take the knight on e5, and this queen is now pinned. And the white will going to capture this bishop. We will take the queen, and at the end of the day, we will have two pieces, and opponents will have just one piece, that's rook. And black can win the game very easily. Let's move to the other example. Here, this position is a very early. It is the opening phase of the game. As you can see here, the knight on f6 is pinned. It is not going to give you a material advantage here, but it will give you a strategic advantage. What is a strategy? We will be discussing about a strategy in another video, but here I'm going to give you a very short detail about a strategy, but how you can outplay your opponent with a strategy. Here, after moving the knight on d5, we are going to take this knight. When you take this knight and black take this knight with pawn, we just damage the structure of king side of black. That is the strategical disadvantage for black. Because now we are going to attack on a king side. How? Just by playing the bishop on h6, attacking this rook. When the rook will move, you can play knight on h4, and the queen is coming, and by accumulating all our pieces to the king side, we will create a very dangerous attack on the black king. It will be very hard to and difficult for the black to defend. That's how we exploit the pin position. That's all for this video. Please subscribe the channel and share it with your friend, because there is much more is coming. Whether it is opening phase, middle game, strategy, and I'm going to analyze in classical games also. End game is coming. So please subscribe the channel, share it with your friend. I can promise you it is going to improve your overall game performance and the rating. So take care. Bye bye. Love you.